And welcome back, YouTube. We are continuing MSQ. Last we left off, we were speaking with Captain Ilberd about the black marketeer who is in the area. We're now here at the Burning Wall. Let's go ahead and hop into it. I spy the one man, but there are sure to be others. I have a plan. While you approach the sentry and create a distraction, my men and I will slip past and catch the black marketeer unawares. Once you've disposed of the thugs, wait for us outside the tunnel entrance. Any questions? Let us be off. Good luck. Who goes there? An adventurer? Damned fool, you should have never come here. I love that move. Storm's Eye is demolished. I don't understand. What's this all about? Ah. Somebody got gotted around the corner. Oh. Gilbert. Got gotted indeed. As you can see, this is a fine mess. When I tried to restrain him, he drew a hidden blade and lashed out. But before I could disarm him, one of my subordinates panicked, and this is the end result. How foolish of me to underestimate the bastard and to bring in an inexperienced recruit. Commander Luvia will be most disappointed. Damn it all. A golden opportunity wasted. As for the clients, though we not know how, they slip past our perimeter. At present, the first is currently tracking a party of dusk-white sellswords we suspect may be them. Would that we could have enlisted the aid of the Immortal Flames or the Brass Blades. Alas, we're here to aid them. They're in no position to aid us. Well, at the very least, we have secured the weapons, yet even that accomplishment is lacking, for the information we received indicated a massive shipment, and this is anything but. I will join the first in their hunt for the Duskwhite sellswords. If the gods are good, we will catch them before they escape into the Black Shroud. In the meantime, I ask that you deliver these weapons to Olda in my stead. Entrust them to the Third's Uyuhas, and he will take care of the rest. We'll see you there. Ah, the Warrior of Light, ever reliable friend to the Crystal Braves. You have my deepest thanks for your assistance in Kurthus. Now, what brings you to us this day? A wooden box filled with contraband. A gift of weapons from a certain black marketeer, courtesy of Captain Ilberd, you say? Understood. Once we've cataloged the contents, I'll have them delivered to the Hall of Flames. This cannot be everything, can it? Riel stated with confidence that there would be a far greater quantity of weapons. A blatant falsehood. Clearly Riel is unfamiliar with the ways of old end merchants, who ever strive to present themselves as greater than they are. We should be thankful that his information was not completely erroneous, and that we managed to achieve anything of worth at all. It's still something worth celebrating, isn't it, Lieutenant? Besides, we've got more important things to worry about, like fighting those Garleans up north. There'll be no fighting if I have anything to say about it. Our orders are to stand watch, not to seek glory in battle. If you have no further need of us, then I shall take my unit to the cerulean processing plant. Time for the Fourth to earn their keep, eh? Fight well, Alien, and for the freedom of all. Excellent work as always, my friend. Rest assured that the immortal flames will hear of your contribution. Until we meet again. He's a cool little Lala. I like him most of all, I think, out of all the Crystal Braves. MSQ, a word, if it please ye. Not here. Look for me at the Sapphire Avenue Exchange. No need for whistling this time, don't you worry. Thanks for indulging me request. Few places better than a market for privacy, I find. All the hustle and the bustle of commerce means most conversations go unnoticed. I'll get to the point. At the Burning Wall, when you and the captain interrupted the exchange, what happened? Tell me everything, leave no detail out. It's gonna stop giving him an accent, because it's just gonna mess me up. That's not quite how the first told it. These Duskwights they were chasing. Latest word is that they lost the trail. But you never saw them yourself. Not before the fighting started and not after. Something's not right. I don't know what it is, but I can feel it in my bones. I'm not stupid enough to be misled by some merchant's drunken boasts. Our information was reliable, goddammit. I know he purchased those weapons. As if I've never deciphered a moneylender's books, or had to follow a transaction back to its source. Did plenty of that back when the Braves were getting started, believe me. Commander wanted assurances that we weren't taking gil from the wrong sort of benefactors. Of course, these days, the money flows like water, and the first and third get the shiniest new toys. Forgive me, friend. I've a lot on my mind these days, and I appreciate you lending me your ear. Right then, let's get back to it. MSQ, can you hear me? This is Tataru. Your presence is urgently requested at the Rising Stones. Please come and see me as soon as you are able. Thank you for coming so quickly. We've a guest from Ishgard who wishes to speak with you. A most, determined lady by all indications. Our guest is with the Antecedent in the Solar at present. Let's not keep them waiting any longer, shall we? I wonder if it's Lucia. It is Lucia.
We have a guest from Ishgard who wishes to speak with you. I believe the two of you have met.
We have. I had hoped to speak with Commander Leveilleur as well, but I cannot afford to wait any longer. The Lord Commander sent me hither to request your aid in a matter of grave import.
You see now why I had Tataru summon you.
Now that we're all assembled, perhaps you would be good enough to elaborate on the nature of the matter which brought you to us.
The Observatorium's astrologians have sounded the alarm. Last night, the Dragonstar burned with an intensity not seen in 15 summers. Not since the Dravanians engaged the Empire in the Battle of Silvertear Skies.
The northern sky doth burn full bright upon the Wormlord's call. The red behemoth beckoneth, and flame consumeth all.
The old Curthin rhyme, aye.
She's like, I'm familiar.
The brightening of the dragon's die is said to accompany the roar of a great worm. The astrologians believe that it was Midgard Soma himself who cried out on this occasion.
After an absence of centuries, the King of Kings did return to lead his kind against the might of Garlemald, only to fall in his duel with the Agrius, proud flagship of the Garlean fleet. Devoid of life, his corpse remaineth entwined about the Magitech monstrosity even unto this day.
Ariange has the right of it. Whatever this alteration in the Dragon Star portends, the Great Worm has shown no sign of life. Tataru, have the Domans reported aught out of the ordinary?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but if Midgard Zorma had roared, wouldn't we have heard it here in Revenant's Toll?
Roar is but a figure of speech. Dravanians can communicate in ways beyond our ken. It is for this very reason that we are forced to look for signs in the heavens. We cannot say with any confidence that a great worm roared at all, much less that it was Midgard Sorma. Only by directly examining the Keeper of the Lake can we be certain. However, it will take too long to gain the Holy See's approval to dispatch the Temple Knights. Therefore, Sir Emric would entrust this task to you. Do you accept?
Yeah, of course.
We knew you would not disappoint us. Now, if you would excuse me, I must return and assist the Lord Commander. We have precious little time to prepare.
To prepare for what, pray tell?
When a great worm roars, his brethren cannot choose but answer. We prepare for battle.
Things got real quiet and serious. Forgive me if I state aught which you already know, but I would ensure that you understand the nature of your destination. Sir Jianje Bajabuju stated, I don't know why I be stumbling, what we now call the Keeper of the Lake is the wreckage of the Agrius, former flagship of the Imperial fleet, the corpse of the worm responsible for its destruction. 15 years ago, as the next step in his campaign to subjugate Eorzea, Gaius Van Balsar attempted to seize control of Mordona. So massive was his force that all thought his victory a foregone conclusion. But an unlikely ally came to Eorzea's aid that day. Midgar Somar, a legendary guardian of Silver Tear Falls, burst forth from beneath the waters of the lake and led a host of dragons against the Garlean airships overhead. In what would later become known as the Battle of the Silver Tear Skies, the Great Worm felled countless airships before engaging the Agrius. In the ensuing struggle, the flagship's Ceruleum engines failed and it tumbled into the lake below. Yet this victory came at a great cost, for the explosion which followed claimed the life of the Great Worm as well. That same explosion transformed Silvertail Falls into the desolate wasteland it is today, draining the lake of its waters and crystallizing aether for moms around. Yet a remnant of the lake remains, and at its center a constant reminder that that fateful day long ago. In accordance with Sir Emmeric's wishes, our Doman allies have been standing watch over the Keeper of the Lake. It would be wise to speak with them before investigating the wreckage yourself. Be careful, my friend. We know not what dangers await you within. Now then, let us not neglect our own tasks. There is much to be done and precious little time to do it. You're in luck, sir. I was about to send word to Revenant's Toll about the Garleans. Of late, I've seen small airships, likely from Castrum's Sentry, come and go from the Keeper of the Lake. Though I cannot say for certain at this distance, I believe they may be salvaging something from within the wreckage. The Castrum supply lines have been cut for some time, and I'd wager they're desperately in need of spare parts and other equipment. So it's true then. The Ishgardians honestly fear that the worm might rise again. Well, from here that seems rather unlikely, but if it's assurances they want, you've no choice but to inspect the corpse in its entirety. Easier said than done. given the creatures which inhabit the wreckage, and the aforementioned Garleans who won't take kindly to your presence, they're sure to fire upon an airship, so I'd advise a more stealthy approach. Take this boat and a few of your comrades to the base of the Agrias, then climb up to the top. It's the only viable approach, I'd say. Alrighty. We're going to go ahead and sit in queue, and as soon as we get popped for that, we'll be... see you in a flash. Alright, and we insta-queued, actually. As a tank, we insta-queued. I hope I'm still not on unsync, though. I might be. I, in fact, am. Be right back. Alright, and we are back with reinforcements. We are going to do it unsynced. We've got Glenn with us again. Oh, I see. We come in from the base. Oh, this makes sense now. We come from across the lake. And we're climbing the shit. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I got folds on my brain. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You can see. Oh, I'd never noticed that before. It's so cool. Okay. Oh, this is so cool. I love this dungeon. This is where the Garleans are. We're climbing, we're climbing, we're climbing. Awesome. Yeah, look below. Yeah, we've already come a long way. Look below again. Nice. Above. Get in there. Now we're even further ahead. I believe we're pretty much at the top. It's a little bit further. Oh, this is the body of the worm. This is so cool. Oh, this is so cool. Oh, there's a... Has that ship always been there? Because remember, the Doman dude was mentioning of the airships coming and going. Oh, that's what's firing. Oh my... I am mind blown. I I am mind blown right now. See how high up we are. Oh, we can't even see the ocean. This is so cool. Now that everything makes sense. Oh, these are the ridges of the worm. And the dragons are already here. Is it gonna fly away? It does fly away. Oh my gosh, so cool.
Who treadeth now upon my bones, and waketh me from slumber sweet?
That's ether.
The face of thy Lord. Remember, mortal, and fear me.
Is it corporeal? What's going on here? We did do that on sync, so for anybody watching for the first time going through this, there's a couple of dragons that he summons and stuff during the fight, but that's it. You don't really see too much else.
By her gifts hast thou earned a moment's reprieve.
It's got more to say.
Speak, mortal, and
That's
I
cool.
shall listen. Guided by a star. My people have heard the song. Ishgard shall burn. Sons must answer for their father's misdeeds. We do not forget. We do not forgive. Seven children did I sire. One now singeth of retribution. I rise to join in the chorus. Thou art powerless to silence us, mortal. Yet thou shalt not live to labor in vain. Thy reprieve is at an end.
Oh,
Trickery is thy shield. This frail, noble creature is not gifted, but chosen. Hearken to me, Hydaelyn. I remember, and I consent. Fear not, mortal. I shall not harm thee.
what the heck is that? Oh shit. The hell? You just said. Hmm. Oh? aspected. Interesting.
Mayhap thou thinkest me an oath breaker. Thou art mistaken. If thou comest to harm, it shall be by another's hand, not mine. I did but strip thee of thy mistress's feeble blessing. Thou didst profit much by her grace, but no more. The covenant binds me to thee. I shall watch, listen, and wait. Fight and struggle, if it be thy will. Man hath ever coveted that which lieth beyond his grasp. I drink of her body, and thence doth mine own find new life. When it hath grown whole, the loyal and penitent shall rejoice. The dragon song heraldeth a beginning and an end.
Piano in the background's going crazy. You may summon Midgar Sommer by selecting the corresponding entry within your menu guide. Oh. Sweet. I was beginning to fear the worst. Were those explosions I saw? But you shouldn't waste time talking with me. Alphanode left a message stating that you were to return to the Rising Stones at once. Actually, before we do that, he's already, I believe he's already in. We had Torgal Pup with the event, but we'll have Mordgar Summer with us like this. And then do we have a oh. Hell yeah. And Tanya. From our Coils of Bahamut. Not really, it's from the friend campaign, getting friends to play the game. But you do fight Twitania in Coils of Bahamut. I feel like we're getting closer. Lucia's here and everything. I feel like we're getting much closer to being in Heaven's Ward proper. The fact that we've met Midgar Sommer now should be any inclination. Praise the 12 that you are hale and whole. I came as soon as Minfilia informed me of Sir Emmerich's request. You have completed your investigation of the Keeper of the Lake, I take it. then I would hear your report. You conversed with Midgar Somar. I swear, were anyone else to make such a claim, I would regard it with considerable skepticism. Are we to understand that the Worm Lord did not perish, and has in sooth laid dormant these past 15 years? Less a resurrection and more of a rejuvenation for he who dwelleth in eternity, years passing as moments. Though his words were ambiguous at times, one statement left little room for interpretation. My people have heard the song, Ishgard will burn. Clearly an attack is imminent. We must share this information with Sir Emmerich immediately. However, we dare not divulge your conversation with Midgar Somar in its entirety. We even acknowledge that you heard the voice of a Dravanian as a grave but necessary risk, lest we forget men have been executed as heretics for declaring as much. For your own protection, and for the sake of our tenuous relations with Ishgard, the truth cannot leave this room. He looks at Minfilia. Okay, that was pretty funny. As for how we shall present our relation to Sir Emmerich's emissary, you may leave that to me. We remain here for now. Alright, we're getting there. Is there something you are not telling us, Amesk? You seem different somehow. It's almost as if you are missing something. Something important. Do I not have the echo anymore, maybe? 12 for Fend. Midgar Somar stripped you of the blessing of light. Are you alright? How do you feel? I see. It is a relief to hear that you are otherwise unharmed. It beggars belief that any being could possess the power to deprive you of her blessing. Midgar Somar made mention of a covenant, did he not? One of the ancient myths regarding Silvertear Fall states that when the waters came into existence, so too did the Great Worm. Althik and Nemia, brother Time and sister Fate, decreed that Midgar Somar ever watch over the source, from which all water and magic was said to flow. I wonder, what if this was the covenant of which he spoke, and 'twas not the gods with whom he treated, but Hydaelyn herself? He's watching over you as he claimed. Mayhap you will have an opportunity to ask. Let us keep this matter to ourselves. We do not wish to burden our friends needlessly. Art thou a pawn or master of thy fate? What hast thou wrought by thine own hands, mortal?
My friend, I can scarce believe it. You confronted the Worm Lord and lived to tell the tale. I give thanks to Helone for your preservation. It is our sole cause for gladness. Your encounter with the Keeper of the Lake served to confirm our fears. A great worm has roared, and it makes little difference if it was one of the two in Eorzea or any other. The Dravanians are coming.
I am told that Ishgard has magical defenses against Dravanian attack, though I am not privy to their exact nature. Will they be enough to repel a massive force?
Ishgard has weathered countless assaults over centuries. This will be no different. And now that you have confirmed the threat, none can ignore the Lord Commander's calls for the wards to be strengthened. I dare not presume to speak for him, but I expect the Lord Commander would sing your praises. I must away, but we shall meet again soon.
She said wards, but if I didn't have subtitles, I would have swore she said walls. Philia of little words.
Countless assaults weathered, and this will be no different? Why am I not convinced?
Because a giant dragon from the lake is talking. The Ishgardians have warred with the Dravanians for centuries, nay, nearly 1,000 years. In all that time, not once has their enemies breached their defenses and entered the city proper. Yet regardless of how strong these magical wards may be, I nevertheless fear that the Ishgardians are underestimating the gravity of the situation. Though it was not Midgar-Somar who roared, a call to arms by one of the first brood cannot be ignored. Till such time as they choose to request our aid, however, we can do naught but observe the situation at a distance, and pray that our fears are unfounded. Ere I forget, I believe Moon Brinda has requested a gathering of the Scions. I assume there has been some progress concerning our efforts to combat the Ascians. Pray inform her that our business with the Ishgardians is concluded for the moment. I shall be along once I've completed my communications with the Crystal Braves. All done with your talk of dragons? Wonderful, because Ascians are next on the menu. Let's head into the Solar, shall we?
Now that everything's calmed down a bit, relatively speaking I mean, I thought it might be a good time to share our progress on the weapon. I believe we're on the verge of a breakthrough.
Well, don't keep us all in suspense.
Just in case anyone's forgotten, let's start by reviewing what we already know. So, an Ascian is an immortal because its soul doesn't return to the ethereal realm when its host is defeated. Instead, it flees to the place that lies between our world and the void. Therefore, the first step to permanently defeating an Ascian is preventing its soul from making this journey. And if you recall, when we last gathered here, I had verified that white auracite has adequate capacity to entrap the beings, albeit only briefly.
Which left the small matter of their extermination.
Aye. To unmake an Ascian soul, one must needs smite it with a concentrated burst, or blade, of purest ether. However, we wanted for both the data and the means to forge such a weapon.
Short of experimenting on an actual Ascian, you see, there's no way to gauge how much ether its soul is made of. As such, we don't know what etheric density our blade needs to have in order for it to work.
So we'll just have to make the densest blade we can and hope for the best. Though that would require a lot of ether. Hang on a minute. Why didn't we think of this before? White auracite can hold an absolute heap of ether, can't it?
Please tell me you're joking. God's sakes, Ida. I feel as though I'm reliving the same scene over and over with you. How many times do you need to be told that white auracite cannot store ether for long periods? Being intangible matter, ether is given to dispersion. Only in its crystallized form is it a stable source of energy. I will test you later on this, so see to it you do not forget.
Right, yes. It's all coming
Poor
back to
girl.
me.
So our hopes rest on good old crystals again, do they? While they are certainly reliable, they leave something to be desired in the area of portability.
Indeed. I am reminded of the quantity of corrupted crystals required to thwart Leviathan, and the extraordinary lengths to which the Laminsons went to transport them. What if it should prove that a similar quantity was needed to destroy an Ascian's soul? Or still more?
I do not envy the poor sod who has to lug all of that around, on the off chance that an Ascian appears.
That's the very problem we set out to solve. And I reckon we've found the answer. If it isn't practical to lug around the ether we need, we'll just have to draw upon another source. And the only viable source is the land.
If you mean to tap the Great River of Ether, know that it will entail considerable risk. Meddling with the currents may well induce a surge like to the one which despoiled Mordona.
Give me a bit more credit, will you? Why would we need to tap the river when there are veritable reservoirs jutting out all over the land? I speak of corrupted crystals. It might be that their aspect is out of balance, but a crystal's a crystal. It contains ether, and we can help ourselves to it.
While corrupted crystals are indeed abundant, there is no guarantee that they will be in close proximity at a crucial moment.
But what if we don't need them to be? What if we could tap their power from afar? A malm away, say? If we could do that, we'd have ready access to ether aplenty in almost every corner of Eorzea.
It's true.
I've yet to put my theories
The crystals
to the
are
proof,
everywhere.
but I've got a good feeling about this. If no one has any objections, I'd like to see where this avenue leads.
If you think it worth your while, you have my blessing. But tell us, what are your theories? I, for one, am most eager to understand the process, however vaguely.
I thought you might say that, but no one wants to listen to boring old theories all day, do they? I know I don't. So with your permission, I'd like to try something a bit more hands-on. I've already built an etheric siphon especially for this purpose, and I've been meaning to try it out. Thing is, the profusion of corrupted crystals in Mordona makes it something of a high-risk testing ground. If anything goes awry with the siphon, it would be better if it didn't happen within spitting distance of quite so much ether. Ideally, I need an isolated specimen. Does anyone know where I can find one?
May I suggest northern Thanalan? There you will find corrupted crystals of middling size, standing a reasonable distance apart. Ideal for your needs, I should have thought. Oh, and if you do elect to visit the place, I should be much obliged if you would assist me in another matter while you are in the area.
Has something happened?
Movement has been observed at Castrum Meridianum. During Operation Archon, the Alliance dealt the stronghold a heavy blow. Its facilities were extensively damaged, and its garrison reduced to a fraction of its former strength.
I remember.
Not long after our forces withdrew, however, their ranks were replenished by reinforcements from Castrum's sentry.
Of course.
They now seek to rebuild, and to this end they have their sights set upon the ceruleum processing plant. Having lost the Empire's support, the 14th Legion lacks the resources to sustain itself. To them, this is a bid for survival, and they will doubtless fight like desperate men. Though I have dispatched the Crystal Braves, I fear their strength alone may not suffice to stay the Imperial assault. I would request the Scion's aid in the defensive effort.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to inveigle us into fighting your battle with the promise of shiny crystals. Well then, consider me inveigled. I won't lie, the crystals you speak of sound perfect, so the Garleans have to go. Besides, we can't afford to beat about the bush. There's no telling when the Arceans will next appear.
Thine eagerness to hurl thyself into the jaws of danger cometh as little surprise. Exercise due caution, I prithee.
Though you have become a crystal brave, you are yet a scion, Alfino. We could
Dang.
Pray, join the Crystal Braves and lend them your support. Thangrid and Papalymo shall accompany you. Ida and Y'shtola, in the meantime I would have you assist Moonbreeder. Scout out the crystal clusters, that the testing may commence as soon as the Garlean threat has been eliminated.
If it please you, I shall continue mine own experiments on white aurosite.
Thank you, Arianger. Everyone, pray see to your preparations and depart as soon as you're able. Go well, and be safe.
Alrighty. Speak with Alpha Note right outside. That was a lot of dialogue. Y'all still with me? Not gonna lie, I fell asleep for a fraction of a second. It would seem that events, this is why I like to read the dialogue, because it keeps me engaged, it keeps me focused, it keeps me absorbing everything. Like, as much as I love when I get a break because there's like voice lines, I take a back seat and I'm paying attention, but every now and then I might pass out. It would seem that events have once more conspired to rob us of rest and recuperation. Though I would wish it otherwise, I must ask that you head straight away to the processing plant. The Fourth have already deployed to the area and await the arrival of the Scions. Wilfred will brief you on the developing situation. Meanwhile, I must rendezvous with Captain Obert at our headquarters in Olda. I shall take command of our forces there with a lighter heart, knowing that you go to support the front lines. Your duties take you to Northern Thanlin, do they not? We too must say our farewells to the Rising Stones for a time. Flamen travels to Olda, and we shall serve as her escort. At my daughter's behest, I go to contact certain old acquaintances in the Gilded City. We are beset on all sides by civil unrest and imperial machinations, threatened by primals and troubled by dragons. We need all the allies we can muster. Many of my friends hold positions of power, you see. It is my hope that they can be convinced to aid the Scions. If past events have taught us anything, then we know that Eorzea must present a united front, or we shall fall. How extraordinary that my little Asilia is involved in such far-reaching affairs. I am proud that I might now stand at her side not only as a mother, but also as a colleague. A colleague with influential connections, but I fear that Olda has become a place of danger even for one so familiar with her streets. Ah, woe betide the blackguard that so much as glares in your direction, milady. I shall be well protected, it seems. Shall we be on our way, then? Right, to the processing plant we go. I forgot I had Midgar Somar as my minion that comes out. It's like he's back. Commander Louvier sent word that you'd be coming. A veteran of your talents is most welcome. Not that I don't think we can handle the situation, mind you. Oh my god, I've learned a trick or two since that disaster with the Amalja. But returning to the task at hand, the Flames reconnaissance scouts have reported Imperial soldiers assembling at Robon's Push. Such a force is likely interested in only one thing: getting their hands on the resources found here at the processing plant. Garleans could begin marching on us at any time. Pray speak with Lieutenant Eldelstein. We might coordinate our counter-strategy. In the meantime, I will inform the others that you have arrived. No doubt it will become welcome tidings. Sergeant Playdrew, my soldiers yet tell tales of your deeds during Operation Archon. Would that we could sit a while and reminisce about old times, but I fear more pressing matters require our attention. Civilian draughtsmen, you see, have come across several highly suspicious crates within the boundaries of the processing plant. I had my sappers take a closer look, and our worst fears were confirmed. These boxes contain powerful explosive devices of Imperial design, no less. By my order, the Flames stationed here are conducting a thorough sweep of the compound as we speak. Though it troubles me that we were unable to apprehend the Imperial spy behind this, I have faith that our men will be able to neutralize the threat for now. In the meantime, our scouts bring troubling news on the latest movements of the Imperial army. I would once again ask for your aid. We've been keeping a close eye on that Garlean garrison, and it would seem the Imperials have finally begun to mobilize. According to the reconnaissance report that just came in, the squads seen leaving the castrum are too few in number to effectively take and hold our position. They will likely mount a swift assault and focus on the acquisition of resources. I have, of course, also shared this report with the Crystal Braves. They've decided to take to the field to meet this assault head-on. I have apprised your fellow Scions of the situation, and I'm heartened to know that they will be joining the effort. Pray report to Lieutenant Allian and lend your much welcome strength to the counteroffensive. I'd like to say that we got through that pretty well. Glad to have you with us. As I'm sure Lieutenant Edelstein has explained, the Garleans have deployed a small force to Castra Meridianum. Their main column assembles to the north near Dalamud's Talons, but we've also spied several squads attempting to conceal themselves on the approach to the west. They wish you to rush forth and commit to battle with the main column, leaving the detached force free to raid the plant and pillage supplies. Not much of a strategy, but these are desperate men. Captain Ilbert. Greetings, Scion. I understand the commander bids you and your fellows come lend a hand to the Braves. With such mighty heroes at its disposal, the force should have little trouble contending with aught the Garleans might throw at them. But even you cannot be everywhere at once. The Third was getting restless holed up in Ul'dah, so I marched them out here to fill any holes in the plant's defenses, and add their numbers to your counterattack. The reinforcements are welcome. We have enough soldiers now to divide our own forces and safely engage the enemy far beyond the walls. Aye, it would be best to avoid staging a battle anywhere near this much ceruleum. Let's take this fight to the Garleans. A wise course indeed. I shudder to think of the consequences should any of these storage tanks be exposed to fire. If there are no objections, the Scions shall join the Fourth and give battle to this main column. You're with the Third then, Warrior of Light. Your job will be to intercept these squads hiding out in the west and prevent them from reaching the processing plant. When you're ready to proceed, report to Lieutenant Yuhas. His scouts should have a rough idea of where the Imperials have concealed themselves by now. It's pretty exciting. And let's go have a little chatty chat before we end this block. It's right around the corner. Pleasure to be fighting at your side once more, Scion. Our operations invariably succeed when you're around, and victories are wont to pave the road to greater coin. Now, this detached force we've sent to eliminate has split into smaller squads, the better to conceal themselves within the terrain hereabouts. I imagine we'll need to split ourselves up as well to cover more ground and make sure we root out all these would-be raiders. And seeing as you're an army unto yourself, I've assigned you your own areas to scour clean of enemy soldiers. Aye, this will be a simple search and destroy. We'll rendezvous back here when the task is done. Happy hunting, Scion. And with that, we'll go ahead and end this block. We'll see you in the next video. Please subscribe for more MSQ, because we're going all the way. All right, we'll see you next time.